Hi, Terry Franks here. Welcome back to my channel, Prescott Voice. Don't forget to hit those subscribe, like, and share buttons. Here it is Monday, and really the first, official day of the Republican National Convention. And Trump was just awarded the delegates he needed to become the Republican nominee for the president of the United States. So exciting to be able to report that when something far worse could have happened on Saturday. Since the great American eclipse of April 8th, 2024, I have been keeping a journal because I do believe that that event was prophetic in many ways as to what is coming on this earth in the future. Saturday, July 13th, 2024, the attempted assassination of our next president, Donald J. Trump, was a significant entry in my journal. That Saturday afternoon, I took a much-needed break and sat down with my husband to watch the rally in Pennsylvania. I don't have the words to describe the shock and horror I experienced as we watched what unfolded. There was just a few minutes into the rally. When I heard the first shots and realized what it was, I screamed, "No, no, no!" Trump went down behind the podium, and I thought he was dead. I thought he was gone. And my mind was trying to process it all. I immediately went to my knees and cried out to God to save him. It seemed like forever as the Secret Service had him covered. Time stopped. When DJT finally stood up and pumped his fist in the air, my husband and I started praising God for his divine and miraculous protection of our next president. Psalm 91 immediately came to mind. God has never failed me, and he didn't fail Trump on Saturday. Psalm 91 is a psalm of God's spiritual and physical protection. In part, it reads, "You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, for he shall give his angels charge over you. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation." So as the media coverage went on that day, we were glued to the TV set. We were starting to learn more and more about what transpired. Early on, the BBC interviewed a witness who saw the shooter crawling up the roof of a nearby building with a long rifle and notified the authorities, the Secret Service and cops on the ground. And the witness said nobody knew what was going on. The cops didn't know. Nobody knew what to do. They were running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Yet nothing was done to eliminate the threat. 3 to 4 minutes in, the witness said, given the threat that he saw, he couldn't believe Trump was still on stage speaking. So how could this have happened? That's the question that everyone is asking. Of course, Secret Service that night didn't even appear at the news conference. As I have said over and over and over again in my videos, the truth is that all the wickedness and evil we witness in our world today are mere reflections of a deeper, unseen battle. Unseen. We don't see it here in the natural. All the chaos and violence, the assassination attempt on DJT, murder, rape, unchecked border crossings, child exploitation, corruption, and on are manifestations of the spiritual warfare raging behind the veil of our physical reality. The hidden conflict influences our world, shaping the darkness that permeates our daily lives. Today, July 15th, as I record this, with all that is being revealed regarding the massive failure of the Secret Service, which is now seemingly blaming local law enforcement for the failure to protect the next president of the United States, I asked myself the question, is it possible that this assassination attempt may have been green-lighted by the deep state, the CIA? It's a question on the minds of many Americans. I've talked to quite a few about this very question, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. But will we ever know for sure? I seriously doubt it. We certainly can't trust the government for the truth. This we know for a fact. We've all been dealing with it for years now with the left. Cover-ups and Machiavellian machinations are the specialty of this government. Bury it so the American public never find out. After all, the left, who is desperate to cling to power, has thrown everything they have at DJT. And he is still standing amazingly. It's a miracle. And he's winning. And they can't handle it. A judge just threw out the classified document case against Trump, finding it was unconstitutional. How about that? Another win for Trump. Another blow for the left, who are rabid to take Trump down. The left is running out of time and has exhausted all options, as I see it, save one: the nuclear option. The assassination of Donald J. Trump. Now, I know, this may seem like a conspiratorial take on the assassination attempt. But like most Americans who support Trump, we have seen what this government is capable of, and we don't trust anything they tell us. Biden recently was quoted saying, "It's time to put Trump in a bullseye" at a rally just days before the assassination attempt. Frankly, I'm not hopeful that we will ever learn the truth this side of heaven. But one day, Jesus will bring all the darkest secrets and evil works of men to light. You can read about that in 1 Corinthians 4:5. The hidden things will be revealed, and I can't wait to witness it. The U.S. government cover-ups and corruption know no bounds. They have made valiant and strained efforts to get rid of Trump. They have failed, and failed miserably. I fear for Trump's life moving forward. There's no question about that. But I have faith that God has a shield of protection around our next president. Sadly, this assassination attempt took the life of a man with a wife and children and critically injured two others. Those who love this country are true patriots and support truth and justice. They're coming for us. So be on your guard, because if this can happen to Trump, and innocent bystanders who support Trump, can happen to any of us. The Biden administration has destroyed our country, and the radical left still have a few months left in this cycle to do even more damage. I do believe that this assassination attempt on President Trump has galvanized this country. He will be our next president. Finally, the videos of young people on TikTok expressing rage and anger that the shooter missed his target are abhorrent and evil. These reactions not only demonstrate a disturbing lack of empathy and moral compass, but also contribute to a toxic and violent culture. And it is crucial to foster a more respectful and compassionate discourse, especially among impressionable youth on social media platforms. But I blame the media and the radical left in our government that is feeding young people as much vitriol and hatred as they can in order to help Biden or whatever Dem they insert win the election. To drive this point home, MSNBC yanked the, quote, Morning Joe program on the fears that their well-known leftist host could say something wrong or something deeply insensitive about the Saturday Trump assassination attempt, which could leave the network in a bit of a bind. What I found interesting is conservative pundit Laura Loomer sounded off in the wake of this decision, pointing out the following, and I quote, MSNBC has pulled Morning Joe off the air this week because they don't think their leftist hosts can control themselves from celebrating the attempted assassination of President Trump. Let's be honest, she went on to say. The rhetoric from MSDNC, CNN, WAPO, Washington Post, New York Times, and Joe Biden is a contributing factor to why Donald Trump almost had a bullet in his skull this week. They have been inciting violence against Trump for years, calling him Hitler, saying he's a dictator and a, quote, threat to democracy, end quote. The shooter was probably even a Morning Joe viewer. I'd be willing to take that bet, end quote. So why wouldn't the young people be on board with unaliving Trump, as so many of these youngsters have been referring to the much hoped for murder assassination of Trump on TikTok? That's what they're calling it, the unaliving of Trump. I bet the parents of these little monsters are bursting with pride over their precious babes, raging publicly over the fact that the shooter was not successful. It's really just disgusting. That's my take for today anyway, on the assassination attempt of Donald J. Trump, our next president of the United States. He lives to keep fighting for us. It will go down as a moment that I will never forget, but I give all the glory to God for his divine protection of our president. It is so great watching the Republican National Convention, knowing that he is alive and he will appear on Thursday, accepting his nomination. It's going to be exciting when Trump finally takes that stage. It's going to be an electric moment. And now that we know his vice president is J.D. Vance, it's going to be a great, great moment. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And thank you for watching.